All right, so this Diddy case looks like it's still headed for a May 5th start. I know his attorneys, the defense, they were trying to get a 2-month delay, but the judge shut that down completely. He said, and it kind of made me laugh, he was like, look, you have like 4 attorneys from 4 different law firms. Clearly, y'all can prepare for this case by May 5th. I kind of laugh because to me, that was kind of a hit on, Diddy, you have all this money to be able to afford all these attorneys. How can you not be prepared for your case by May 5th? But his attorneys are arguing that the prosecution, they hit him with a new superseding indictment, and I guess it included new charges. So they feel they just need more time to prepare for that. And I have to admit, initially, I was shocked that the judge did not approve the extension, because ultimately, when you look at our justice system, is it perfect? No, but in general, the goal is to always give people their due process. Like, Diddy is innocent until proven guilty, and it's his attorney's job to zealously defend him. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to ensure he gets a fair trial, period. So they asked for a delay. They said they needed more time to prepare for what they feel are new charges. But the judge feels that these new charges, if you will, that the prosecution brought with the superseding indictment, they were just an extension of his existing charges. So there's really not much more to prepare for, in his opinion. And he also felt like this request is a little too last minute. So that's where that stands. But he made a lot of rulings. All this happened Friday, by the way. Some other rulings he made was that Cassie will have to supply drafts of her memoir. The defense is asking for that. I'm going to assume that maybe she says certain things that maybe hurt her story when it comes to her relationship with Diddy. But his attorneys also wanted her bank statements. They wanted her diaries. The judge was like, nah, no, she doesn't have to supply that. But he also ruled that the other accusers who will be taking the stand, they can continue to use their pseudonyms. Cassie will be the only one. She's, I think, referred to as victim number 1. She's the only one that will be revealing herself. But the other accusers, they won't have to reveal their names to the public. But obviously, when people go to this trial, they will see them. So who knows? I don't know if their names will be leaked, or if the names are leaked, maybe whoever leaks it, if it were to happen, maybe they would face some type of punishment for that. So I don't know if that would happen. But the judge ruled that they can remain anonymous. So that's where that is. So that's pretty interesting. Now, the prosecution, they worked hard on trying to get prior bad acts into this trial. Bad acts including activities possibly with a minor. They wanted to bring certain witnesses in to talk about these alleged bad acts. But of course, the defense shut that down, because in general, the rule with criminal trials is that prior bad acts generally aren't admitted, because they can be highly prejudicial when it comes to, just how the jury perceives a defendant. You risk, in essence, creating a trial within a trial when you bring in prior bad acts. Because, when you are on trial for the current evidence being presented regarding your current case, not whatever happened years ago. And so you want to make sure the jury is not, in essence, maybe ruling you to be guilty because of what you did years ago. Now, there are exceptions to this. I'll name a few. You can have an exception of motive, intent, or identity, just as an example. Like with motive, if the prosecution maybe prove that, Diddy has a motive to control and show power over his alleged victims, then maybe you could bring up prior bad acts of him doing this or speaking on this, and then use it as a way to enhance or prove that was why he treated these current accusers the way he did, allegedly. Or with identity, that's kind of a way for you to certain people who commit crimes, they may do it in a unique way, if you will, so it's easier to identify them. You sometimes often see that, to be honest, with serial unalivers. There's certain words you can't say on YouTube. I know that sounds crazy, but serial unalivers, they may, leave certain markings on their victims. It's a way for you to identify who they are. This may be so unique. With Diddy's case, all I can think of is maybe the baby oil. Like that may be something to identify him when it comes to some of these acts that he's being accused of. And then like I said, you can have intent. Like, what was his intention behind possibly committing these wrongdoings? If you can show, like, he's obviously Diddy saying that his relationship, particularly with Cassie, was consensual and all of their activities together was consensual, but maybe you can bring up a prior bad act that shows that he knew certain activities were not consensual, or certain activities weren't done by mistake, or he had misunderstandings or whatever. If you can show that in prior bad acts and show that maybe it's similar to how he may have treated, just as an example, a Cassie, then maybe you can bring in a prior bad act. But what the judge has ruled is most of those prior bad acts that the prosecution wanted to bring in cannot come in, with the exception, apparently, of one, and we will see what that will be. So this is going to be a heavy case, but it's starting very soon. I personally can't believe it. I can't believe we are already about to have this major Diddy trial. Because to be honest with you, a lot of times with these high-profile trials, sometimes it seems like we're waiting forever for the trial to either start or to finish. But look, Diddy was just arrested back in September? So it hasn't even been a year. And already we are at trial. So Diddy may very well know his fate by June. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean, Diddy was on top of the world, arguably the biggest mogul of music mogul, I should say, of this era. And look at where he is now. It's mind-boggling. But that's my thoughts on this. That's where Diddy stands right now. What are your thoughts? Be sure to share them below. I'm Stacey Brewer, and this is H Blues Word. Peace.